Hogan, fist bumps all round. He's ready. And we welcome our viewers around the world for this unbelievable finish to the 2022 HSBC World Rugby 7 Series. Corey Toole and Australia. It's up to them if they want to win this match and the series. Or is it up to Samoa, coached by Brian Lima, to stop Dietrich Roach and their side? 7 minutes each way. Dignity Health Sports Park is ready to go. And Roach comes to the near side. Turner chases. Ball bounces up and picked up by Va'apelo Maliku, one of the standout players for Samoa. Owen Nua goes across field, gets a good switch with Sione. He's been outstanding as well. Waina Sione scored against New Zealand twice in that game. Across field they go to Matavao. Wide ball. Leitufia cuts all the way back to midfield for Samoa, linking up really well with Maliko. So many steps he has. Got a brilliant try celebration as well when he eventually does get free. But here come Samoa, the man in blue. Owen Nua again. With a big frame of Afasua. Winds it over the top to Sione. They play with such confidence. Almost on the outside. Patterson is a good tackle. It's been spilt though. So they kept the ball for a minute and weren't able to go very far.
The Australian defence standing very, very strong in that early going, and that's a good sign for them. They've made two changes from the team that started their semi-final with Maurice Longbottom and Corey Toole, two incredibly dynamic players coming into the starting lineup for them. But it does mean it's a slightly smaller Australian lineup than we've seen in other games. And when you're playing Samoa, that physical challenge is so important.
So there's the Africans looking on. Devald Human, Angelo Davids. Well, they are supporting Samoa. Samoa win this, and then the final one by New Zealand, they'll win the series. Here comes Turner, though. Oh, he's floated that one a bit forward, so it's picked up by Owen Nua. He's under all sorts of pressure as Hutchinson gets over this one. So much at stake in this game. Australia have never won the series. They finished second in 2001, third in 2000, and in 2010 as well. Samoa has won once in the series 09-010. Some brilliant players in their team. Remember Wali Mai, Lola Lui, Pessamino as well.
Crouch.
Dietrich Roach, though. A new generation of Aussie 7 stars, coached by John Manenti.
Sit.
Niueli Leitufia feeds here in the first half. He peels around. Possession here with Melani Matavao. Late switch opens up a bit of a space here for Mana Samoa. And they go through. That is classic vintage Samoa, and they get the first score here in the bronze medal match. He's certainly taking a leading role here in Los Angeles.
Nua cutting through, coming back on the switch, and the third Australian defender had not tracked across, and there was just a gaping hole in the middle of the Australian defence, and Nua did not need any second invitation, and it's Samoa on the board first. Now, in their quarterfinal, Australia did go down to Kenya as well, so this is a team that can absorb that early deficit and stay in that mental fight, that mental battle. So Australia is certainly not out of it, but you don't want to go down at the beginning of the game.
Owen Nua's try is converted by Melani Matavao. A lovely movement from the tall, lanky Samoan player. 7-0 the score in the first half. Under 4 to play. Kick-off from Matavao. Played 11 tests for Samoa's 15 side. Goes into the sun. Maloof tries to bat it down. Sione's there. Beautiful back to his kicker, Matavao. They recycle with Steve Onasai. Flicks it back to Matavao. Nua, the try scorer, gets rid of one, still going. Good carry, Turner brings him to the ground. Now the ball's gone loose. Maurice Longbottom has it. This is danger time for Samoa. He finds Henry Hutchison, who holds up, looking for some more runners. He finds his captain, Patterson now. Australian jerseys to the left. Dietrich Roach with a jump step, fires it in. Corey Toole, looking like Nicolas Cage in the wind from Conair. And he has the response for the Aussie Sevens.
Australia striking right back with what might have been their first possession of the game, showing they do not need the ball long in order to get over the try line. And it's that man, Corey Toole. He's been a bit peripheral to the Australian Sevens team this weekend, but over the course of the season, he has been such a dynamic scorer for them and gets on the end of so many of Australian tries. Dietrich Roach, Corey Toole have been two talismans for the Australian Sevens team this season, and Toole scores and will have the conversion to tie it up.
Well, he leads so many other categories: line breaks, offloads, and tries for this Aussie Seven side. Roach, who created the try, and Toole, who scored it. 7 apiece in the bronze medal match. 2 to go in the first half. Corey Toole, HSBC Dream Team selection by the fans in rounds 5, 6, and 7. Roach takes his time as he's practiced. Huge knockback. Malouf gets it. Hutchinson grabs it in the air. Josh Turner is there as well. Penalty Australia. Long bottom taps. A bounce pass to Roach. Long bottom starting in the side this time, usually used off the bench. Big ball back on the inside. Here's Corey Toole again. He's lit it up on day one. Looking to do the same here. Toole slips free. Corey Toole. Big tackle by Samoa. It's come off blue, it's play on. And Henry Patterson says thank you very much. Australia will go into the lead.
Backwards off you. Backwards off
wow,
you.
big call from the referee.
Backwards off you.
He's deeming it that the Samoan defender has knocked the ball backwards out of Corey Toole's hands here, so that would not be a knock on. It looks like all the Samoan defenders stop, waiting, expecting the knock on. And then it's simple for Patterson just to pick it up and go in. So Corey Toole, the great initial break. And then we see here, it is the defender's pressure. Does Corey Toole's hand knock that on? Marginal for me, I might have called that one, but the referee doesn't. He's the man with the missile, and so the man who matters. And Australia will counter, and Patterson, he has been so good for Australia this weekend, scoring crucial tries in game after game. And that could be the most important one of them all if this scoreline stands.
Yeah, you've got to use your luck as well in this game of sevens, game of small margins. Remember, Australia must win this game to claim the series for the first time in history. They're up 14-7. Final play of the first half. Big lift there from Matavao. Afasua. Samoa with Maliko. Such a dangerous play. Scored 2 against Kenya, 2 against Scotland, as well as against Argentina and New Zealand. A real handful for Samoa. Oh, that's a hospital ball definition to Nueli Leitufia. Gets it away to Steve Onasai. Almost another one as well, but it's a no-look pass, creating a bit of space on that far touchline. Oh, and Nua again, scored one, takes on Longbottom. What a tackle from Maurice Longbottom. Number 11 on number 11. And a penalty for holding on. So Longbottom goes quickly after a brilliant defensive tackle. Hutchinson to Nick Malouf. Loses it. Comes the way of Leitufia. This is where it gets dangerous. Loose ball for both sides. Bounce ball. Turner wants to come in. It's been flicked ahead. Turner to Turner. Will come back, though, for the knock-on. And half-time, the whistle goes. Well, it is delivered. An action-packed first half. It's 14-7 Australia with a slender lead against Samoa in the bronze medal game. And, of course, the series title on the line. If Australia win this, they will win for the very first time. And Zane Davids and South Africa can only look on. They're done in this tournament. The only way they can win is if Australia loses and Fiji loses in the final. Samoa kicking off from left to right, who trail by 7 in this game. They're so good at the restart. Turner almost had it, he loses it. Matavao goes up the middle. Malani Matavao, Roach has him, forcing the knocker with a big tackle.
An advantage gained, so that will be the second knock-on against Samoa. So that's good for Australia, that their mistake from the kickoff didn't cost them, and they will have the first real possession of this second half and the chance to build their lead. And 7-point lead, still pretty close, and Samoa, they're all about it too. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. They've got Roach here in the midfield and Turner in behind the scrum, so I think they'll probably move it out to this left-hand side and try and stretch that Samoan defense.
So great to get the inside former USA Sevens captain Madison Hughes I'm Dallin Stanford, and welcome everybody tuning in, particularly fans from Samoa and Australia, as Roach leaves this one behind. Jettrick cleans things up, though, as Onasai brings him to the ground. Both turners are there. Penalty for Australia. Tap and go quickly. Prefer to up the tempo in the last two games they've played. Nick Malouf debuted in Dubai in 2013.
Side entry. Need to come
It's
round.
another one. What is Longbottom? He goes quickly. Again, piling on the pressure here, Australia. Big hit. James Turner, man on debut. Longbottom. Hutchison, always dangerous, the ball in hand. Tries to fix the D. So Malouf goes back to him in midfield. Hutchison gallops up to the 10. Has Longbottom with him. Ooh, that's knocked down. We're playing on. Josh Turner, lovely ball to James Turner. Back inside. On the ground, playing the
You're
ball.
off your feet when you won the ball.
There's Afasua. Goes the call, says Jettrick Roach. You can hear it up here in the commentary booth. All the penalties stacking up against Samoa. Australia. Can they capitalise with Patterson? He goes into the 22. Yet another.
Yeah, and the penalties really counting up against Samoa. And if I'm that Australian captain, yeah, we can see that the last 7 penalties have all been against Samoa. I'd be asking, hey sir, is there a card coming soon for any of these? Samoa just, in their attempts at the breakdown, they're just getting slightly over-eager, not supporting their body weight, getting hands in rucks that have already formed. And for Australia, it's disjointing their attack.
Josh Turner. Behind the back pass to Jettrick Roach, who goes on the outside. Roach! Too hard to stop. And this Aussie 7 side turn it on in the bronze medal game.
And Australia just creeping closer to that elusive series title. Dietrich Roach has been such an important player for them all season long. Top point scorer in the world this year so far. And he slips through that tackle. It's a poor missed tackle, really, from Samoa. And Dietrich Roach, and crucially, able to get around near the post, so he should be able to stretch this to a 21-7 lead and put Australia 2 converted tries up with 3.5 minutes to go.
Dietrich Roach, 21-year-old, is everything good about this Australian side. The heart and soul up the middle. 21 points to 7. Well, the series, see Roach at the top there, the point scorer. That's what an asset he's been for the side. Well ahead of anybody else. The series been won 13 times by New Zealand, 4 times by Fiji, 4 times by South Africa, and Samoa have won it once back in 09-010. Australia looking to make history for their great rugby playing nation. Samoa have 3 minutes to come back into this game. It was so impressive against Argentina and in the pool stages as well. Finally going down to New Zealand 28-26. Steve Onasai smashes into the top point scorer. Maliko shifts it wide. Afasua. Now the jump step here from Paul Scanlon. Scored 2 in the last game against NZ. Scanlon, almost a bit of space for him to operate. Another big hit on Va'atelo Maliko.
Leave!
Mana Samoa needs something special here with time running out. Scanlon can't get free of that tackle. Afasua, wide ball to Malani Matavao. Tries to stud around Lawson, throws one dummy. Gets the dish away beautifully. Sione pulls back. 4 players on the side. It's a kick pass. Good skills here to Falaniko for Samoa. Onasai draws here to the short side. Maliko, huge hit. That may have been their chance.
Oh, and good defense from Australia. Samoa just initiating a lot of physical ball carries on these outside channels, but Australia proving up to the task. And in this tackle from Roach, Roach coming up, the ball just dislodged, gets his head pretty much on the ball, and that dislodges it, and Samoa lose it, and that could be the difference. That defensive stand could be enough for Australia to seal this World Series. So 2 minutes to go, 2 tries, still definitely possible for Samoa to come back. But if Australia can retain this scrum and go through a couple phases, it's starting to get more and more unlikely.
Yeah, it really is. Arabica looking on. See the blitz box. That's where the series stands now. South Africa were first coming into this tournament, taking the best 7 of 9 results. If you've managed to play that many. But Australia, score stays like this, will clinch their first ever series title. And the blitz box have won 4 goals early on the season. Have been outdone by the consistency of this Australian side. And that man in picture, Dietrich Roach, has had a massive hand in it. Maurice Longbottom feeds here. Gonzalez on the park. Toole looking to go on the outside. Corey Toole. He's flung down to the ground. 90 seconds to go. 90 seconds away from series glory. Aussie glory as well. Henry Patterson. Great bit of work from Patterson. Ball is still there for Nathan Lawson. Penalty goes the other way to Samoa. 1 minute to go. Sione brought down by 2 Aussie players, and they get the penalty at the breakdown as well.
And it's Nick Malouf, Australian captain, gets the crucial turnover that will allow them to bleed enough time off the clock. Either kick for the line out. Yeah, I think they're going to kick for the line out. That'll bleed about 20 seconds off the clock. And by the time that line out gets thrown in, I do not think there is enough time for Samoa to score twice. And Nick Malouf, I mean, he's been such a servant to the Australian Sevens team over the years, and it's only fitting that he gets that crucial turnover. And I think these Australians have done it.
They have done it. You saw John Minetti there giving the kicking motion.
Time off, no ball.
Game management is what it's all about in the shortened version. And Maurice Longbottom goes to probably the last line out for the Aussie Sevens here at the HSBC LA event. To the back he goes.
Yeah, thank you.
To Matt Gonzalez. Corey Toole shapes up to kick, keeps it, throws it in the field of play, and there's another monster shot that's come in. But it's a penalty to close things out for Australia. Longbottom this time doesn't need to rush it.
That is an absolutely enormous hit, but you see the scenes from Australia. They know that they have done enough.
Aussie win the HSBC 7 Series for the first time since it started in 1999. Dietrich Roach wasn't even born yet then. They've become the 5th nation to win it all. Despite South Africa's efforts, Aussie Sevens win it. 21-7 the bronze medal match and the title.
What a moment for this Australian Sevens team. They came close almost 20 years ago now, and to have finally done it, Australia is such a big, important nation in the world of rugby, but for the first time, they have reached the pinnacle of the world of rugby sevens.
Well, so many brilliant players on display this season for Australia. The highs and the lows on the Sevens World Series. Got a feel for South Africa and Australia with John Minetti. Well, let's get a word and let's get a reaction right now from him.
Well, after 21 years of trying, the Australian men's sevens team are HSBC World Series champions. How does that sound?
Quite surreal, to be honest with you. I can't believe we're here. It's been an amazing 6 months or so with the boys. Worked hard. We've had our ups and downs, and our program's been in and out of sort of a few different positions. But these kids are